Thank you. Always nerve-wracking to be here. I promise myself every time I do this that I'm never going to do this again, but, well, it's always a pleasure to share what I have to share with you today, which I decided to be a very personal talk, to share my challenges, crises, moments, fears, doubts about the work I decided to do. And this is mainly to talk to you people who are working mainly with the scripts, the very diverse scripts that are not Latin, who look at the mainstream and think, I don't want to go that way. I'd rather go in another direction, or that direction, and that direction, and there's so many directions. Why do we have to follow what is there? And so this is my question, and has been my question since the beginning. First, as an introduction, I'd like to say I'm jealous of Latin type designers because you get to have such an amazing scope of histories that have been written about any sort of specific topic. You get to debate the flat, I forgot the name now. You get to debate all sorts of things. You get to know the perverted sexual life of Eric Gill, all down to that sort of detail. You have beautiful theories written by fantastic people who are still alive. You can go talk to them, such as, well, Nordzeit's The Stroke. You can be inspired by that in your makings. And technology is, of course, made for that script. And people debate, like today, what can we do? How can we push things forward? And I think in the audience, wow, they're so far ahead. How can we catch up? And in Arabic, when I started working or when I started my life path, there was almost nothing to start with, no foundation. So how do you make choices? There were typefaces, and I always wondered, how do these people have accountability towards their own work if there are hardly any foundations? This still is a question for me today. And so I decided something that neo-Marxist Antonio Gramsci actually put in words. I collected this in 2005. He really inspired Edward Said's Orientalism, and he said, "The starting point of critical elaboration is the consciousness of what one really is, and is knowing thyself as a product of the historical processes to date, which has deposited in you an infinity of traces, but it comes without leaving an inventory. So it is imperative at the outset to compile such an inventory." And so I decided, for my life, I will search first before producing any typeface, because that's where I wanted to get at. I wanted to make Arabic type, but I cannot make it without knowing what I'm doing. And so it meant searching for theories, searching for histories, searching for maybe different technical developments. And when you start, you're young and you're excited, and then it gets really confusing because there's a mountain to be lifted, a mountain of knowledge. And so all these questions jumble up in your head. How did the script start? Where did it come from? How did type start? In what context was type made? Arabic, I'm talking about. How is contrast placed in an Arabic letter? Which proportional system do you choose for which kind of application? No answer. And technology I will get to later. And so my pursuits started. I have two short stories, each one about history, one about theory, and then I'll get to technology a bit more at length. I thought it was logical to start from the beginning. Where did the Arabic script come from? And actually, I wish somebody told me, Lara, this is a very silly place to start, because when you start digging into the beginning of Arabic script, you actually start fiddling with the origins of Islam. And there, you really don't want to be in that sort of debate that has no answer. But well, I still looked it up, and you have many legends of creations, especially written in by Arab authors, that Arabic fell from the sky, that the Arabic script came by 6 tribesmen, Abjad, Hawaz, Hatti, Kalam, and Safas, which make up the Arabic Abjad, and then Arabic came to existence. And there is one more theories, but the most plausible one is that it came from the Nabatean script, but this is 3rd or 4th century epigraphy, and then you jump to 7th century, 8th century, full-fledged Arabic script, and you start wondering, what on earth happened in between? There was no answer. So I had a mental block. I blocked, I think, for like about a few months, thinking, well, there's a conspiracy, nobody wants to talk about it, but of course you have to move on. So these are one of the challenges you face when digging into such scripts, you also have to learn to move on at some point and to be like, there will be scholars who one day will study this for us. On the aspect of theories, I'd like to point out that I've searched for people to work with because one brain by itself is not good enough. My friend and fellow Arabic type designer Christian Sarkis and I often have chats, and we invented for our students a parametric system that takes the characteristics of the Arabic script, turns them into sliders, and where you can actually build a typeface based on principles to make some sort of modern shape you want to, whatever you want to do. We will explain this in an article eventually, so I won't be too long on this. Of course, this is a work in progress. It's not set in stone. We might say, this was a very bad direction, we're going to redirect. But well, if I look at variable fonts nowadays and feel like a dinosaur, I think I have a parametric system, and this one day maybe can turn into sliders if you understand properly how to move from solid to fluid and contrast, which is the most difficult part in Arabic. And what I want to focus on today is technology, because I'm now building my first typeface family called Falak in an alternative technology, because Arabic has lost through time and through machines made for Latin, has been compromised in terms of form for about 500 years, and which to me is flabbergasting. But today, it's okay, that's history. I used to get really angry and mad at history, but I mean, that's really unproductive. So today I wonder, well, we're almost nearing the explosion of AI. We are going to have Mars settlements and do asteroid mining. Can we not compute a script like Arabic based on its own essence? And so I wondered, how would it be if we actually dug through that question? And to me, I became obsessed with seeing letters as movement, or text as a compilation of movements within each letter. And to make a long story short, because I guess we're short on time, I'm lucky again to have found people called Decotype. This is Thomas Milo, Miriam Somers, their daughter, and I'm their adopted daughter. Basically, we don't have a professional relationship. We have a very intimate, personal, passionate relationship for computing Arabic letters in a very minimal set of pieces. And with them, they have taught me so much that I don't know where to start owing them. And they invented a layout engine called ACE, the Advanced Computing Engine, and that computes basically pieces and turns them into text. This is my typeface, Falak. It's made of 550 pieces, and I haven't done the OpenType version yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in the 4.0 numbers, because it's pretty hardcore in terms of what it has to do, because it's made for poetry mainly. And so I decided to be totally honest today. Working with parts for me also means a bigger thing. It means not only for Arabic, but when in ATypI 2014 Barcelona, I saw this slide by Adobe Japan of their way of working in stroke elements, and I thought, but this can be a global thing, actually. I was amazed that the source hand sans PanCJK typeface fills the OpenType tables, and everybody's like, whoa! And I was like, no, this is horrible. Look, it's already there in elemental pieces. Doesn't anyone see this? But then I realized, well, don't put your nose, Lara, in a business that doesn't belong to you, that you don't know much about. It's not your place. So we go back to design. And so here it is. This is Falak in both architectures. This is how the architecture is rendered. OpenType will take a character per box. ACE will take a piece per, it's not really a box, but it's just for you to see the difference. And I decided that this, besides being a Save the World, it's not going to be a Save the World experiment, it's just going to be my experiment that I don't know what the future of is going to be, because ACE is not a widespread layout engine. But I lost the train of my thoughts, so I'm going to move on. And I wanted to talk a bit about what's behind the work in ACE. So the ACE engine works into parts. Parts are then I put them in the PUA area, the private use Unicode. I have to create to program my typeface. I skipped the whole design aspect of it. But to program it, I create vocabulary for myself to see which letter means what. Gym final cascading. I have a gym final horizontal as well. So this is gym medial cascading, a default version. There's also different versions for different contextual shaping, because using ACE, the advantage of using ACE is that you could have, for each position of an Arabic letter, for an initial, medial, final, or isolated position, a contextual shape. So for each letter, I have about 30 plus shapes. They react based on who they're next to. And so this, for example, specific context or this specific gene in data, in my data file that I hand type every day or since January, it's associated to a Unicode number. I know what I'm talking about. It's conditioned by space. It's in this cell in my FontLab file. It has this signature, and this data describes everything that's part of this element. And the gym, the whole gym, initial, medial, final, and cascading and horizontal versions looks like this, hand-typed, not automated. I have so much fun in my life, and I keep swearing in Arabic. And so this is gym. My gym is complicated. It actually pushed the boundaries of ACE. We had a huge meeting about my gym, which I was quite proud. I'm like, cool, I'm pushing boundaries of ACE. This is amazing. And so, of course, you get crises. Crisis of time, because I often get asked. So it's been 3 years working on this typeface, 10 years collecting an inventory, that's ongoing. I keep being asked by people, when are you going to be done? I'm like, come try to do the work I'm doing. I swear I'm doing my best. I work on it full time. It's going to be done eventually. I would love to move on to other projects. I have tons of ideas. But well, you got to do what you got to do, right? And we all battle with time, so this is normal. Lack of automation. The lack of automation is a problem. ATypI is now working on a smoother design data process. I know there are people over here sitting who are interested in making my design data process faster. I sometimes do it myself, where in these sheets, this X value here I have to add 140 to 4,000 lines of Excel. And so I decided I'm learning Python, because there's no way I'm doing this by hand, ever. So, well, I can do little things. I wish I could do more. And, well, it's not a widespread technology. It's only, if I were to finish my typeface in its ACE version, I can only resell it via Winsoft International. They have a horrible website, so I need to create a microsite for that typeface, because it has to look good, and you have to test it. But then there's no other choice, and the only people who can use it are the people who buy Winsoft Tasmim and have it in Adobe InDesign, or who hire ATypI to put it on the web, because it's possible to use ACE on the web right now. And so now I'd like to talk more about finances and the future. So once the inventory was more or less collected, and of course I collect inventory the whole time, and it's nice to see that there will be 3 speakers who are talking about Arabic, so Arabic is getting more attention, more research, etc. It's, I guess, a really good time to be working in this field. Design programming. So I'm done after 3 years with the design of the regular ACE version. I still have 2 other weights. I've done the OpenType basic, super basic dummy. I would never sell it ever. I want it to look as close as possible to my original design. I have question marks as to whether I want to make the heavy and the other posture, which is based on Nestalik, in ACE, because, to be honest, I really don't want to write 4,000 more lines of Excel data every day, singing echo foxtrot 0, 1, comma, echo foxtrot 5, 6, semicolon, etc. But well, this is how it is. These are my choices, of course, so I'm responsible for making them that way. My project has gotten a subsidy for 2 years, up until December 2016, by the Creative Industry Fund Netherlands. I'm not done, of course. I need to continue this section unfunded. And I would like to hire Yusuf van Rossum for the OpenType features of my typeface. But well, of course, all of this needs funds. And so while wondering, and also needs momentum, I don't want to stop. I want to work on this full time, otherwise I'm really unhappy. And so sometimes when you get a bit delirious, you think, okay, I went clubbing and I saw these go-go dancers, and I was like, maybe I can be go-go dancers, that way I have fun, I get paid. It's work only the weekend, nighttime, and that's good. And then I went on the website and I thought, okay, let's see what these go-go dancers do, or how do I get there? And I saw this. Okay, Lara, you've gone a bit too far with your stick to your field, basically. But it was, I seriously thought about it. And so, of course, you want to, I got a big lettering project, by the way, in case you're wondering. But eventually I would love to live from making type, and making type the way I think is appropriate for my culture and its heritage, for my own graphic identity and the local identity of Lebanon, because every place has its own specific way of, a specific history and graphic history. And so I would like to have a foundry, I would like to sell my own type, and then there I get really scared, because I'm not that skilled in the business level. I hate social media, but well, skills are acquired things. Social media, I guess you can find a way to make yourself happy and use it. And so now I'm in the stage of thinking, okay, what kind of strategy, how do you make the foundry? Ideas are a bit more structured. I'm taking 2 months business strategy next in 2 months to actually push myself to do so. And then hopefully one day publish these typefaces and continue the work. And so the road has been very bumpy, ups and downs, and renegotiations and giving up sometimes, but people give up before you also, like, why are you doing this? Just leave me alone, I'm doing what I want to do. And to those of you who would like to go on such a pathway, I asked in my abstract, is it too idealistic? Is it viable? I honestly don't know if I'm being too idealistic, but I wouldn't do it any other way personally. If you do choose to go on an alternative path, I would tell you, get a part-time job from the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lara. Okay, before we head into the coffee